بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم مصطفى محمد. أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. صلوات. We are celebrating the holy month of Ramadan, and it is important that we do refer to it as a holy month, because there are some traditions that say that Ramadan is one of the names of Allah. Allah Himself has said that Ramadan is His month. He even says in the Quran, Shahr Ramadan, not just Ramadan. Surah Baqarah, verse 185, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. The translation of this verse is, the holy month of Ramadan in which was revealed the Quran, a guidance for mankind and clear proofs of the guidance. Here is another reason why Ramadan is holy. The Quran was revealed in this month. As is mentioned, the Quran is a clear guidance for mankind. This verse shows us the importance of using the Quran in our daily life. This should start with learning how to read the Quran, how it should be read, with proper makharij and tajweed rules, and then also learning the meaning and tafsir. This will help us to know what Allah has mentioned in the Quran and how we can implement the teachings of the Quran in our daily life, as this holy book came for the guidance of mankind, not just to be recited in the holy month of Ramadan. However, the biggest signifier of this holy month is fasting. Over 1 billion Muslims come together to fast, although, as the Quran itself says, it isn't just a practice found in Islam. Surah Baqarah, verse 183, the verse I recited at the start, Allah says, O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that you may become of the muttaqeen. As it was prescribed for those before you, shows, through Judaism and Christianity, that fasting is not just a Muslim practice. It may not be as common for Christians and Jews as it is for Muslims, nor with the same meaning, but the concept is still the same. At the end of the verse, Allah says, that you may become of the muttaqeen. This is evidence that the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it wajib for us to dedicate this whole month to fasting is because it helps us to become muttaqeen, to become people of taqwa. But what are the actual benefits that fasting provides us? There are physical and spiritual benefits to fasting. The physical ones are important as well, because there are some Muslims around the world who just don't take care of themselves and what they eat. Our tongue, our stomach, these have rights over us, as is mentioned in Risalat al-Hukuk by Imam Zayn al-Abidin. This very body has been given to us as a sign of trust from Allah that we will not abuse it. There are many spiritual benefits of fasting. One of them is that it helps us empathize with poor people. We can look forward to a large, lavish meal at the end of the day, and we know that we will continue to eat normally after 30 days, but there are many people around the world who just do not have these blessings. This also helps us to self-reflect and to thank Allah for the blessings we have that we normally take for granted. This empathizing makes us more inclined to give charity, which gives us sawab and is an act that is highly recommended in this month of Ramadan in particular. Fasting also brings us closer to Allah. Without eating, we have a lot more time for ibadat. For example, going to the Masjid regularly, reciting du'as, and even sleeping, which is considered ibadat in this month. Allah wants to make it easy for us to do good deeds. According to some narrations, shaitan has been locked away in this month. This is another blessing from Allah, as it gives us no excuse to sin in this month, as we are free from the influence of shaitan. It would be a shame if we didn't take full advantage of this by doing all the good deeds and ibadat that we can, rather than wasting our time on worldly pleasures. Another benefit is that fasting helps us discipline ourselves regarding things we should not be doing or are not doing enough. For example, someone who listens to music will stop for this month. This will help them to stop in future, as well as partially cleaning them of sin for the month. If any of us smoke, we will have to stop while we are fasting, and this will help us to lose this bad habit in the future as well as during Ramadan. Even something simple like drinking way too much tea and coffee, this is a bad habit that Ramadan will help us lose. There are many health benefits to fasting as well. It helps to detoxify the body. Just like all machines require cleaning and rest after regular use, fasting does this job for our body. It helps weight loss as you are generally not eating as much. Your body also burns fat quicker after a period of not eating. This also improves your immune system, and it makes you healthier as you are not consuming as much sugar and fat. In Surah Baqarah, Allah says that fasting has been prescribed upon the Muslim community. This community was in Medina at the time, and that is where the laws of fasting were prescribed. Many of the rules of fasting are mentioned in Surah Baqarah, particularly in the verses after verse 183. Allah goes on to mention what you should do if you are ill or if you are on a journey, and also what to do if fasting is difficult for you, for example if you are very old. He also mentions when the month of Ramadan starts and some rules regarding the moon sighting. As Allah says in verse 185, He does not want to make things difficult for us. He just wants us to complete the correct amount of days of fasting so that we thank Him for having guided us. Allah has said that fasting has been prescribed upon us that we may become of the muttaqeen. But who actually are the muttaqeen? The phrase literally translates to people who have taqwa. And taqwa, as we know, means piety. So the literal translation is people who have piety. However, in history, the term al-muttaqeen has been translated in many different ways. Ibn Abbas, cousin of the Prophet and a mufassir of Quran, has said that al-muttaqeen are the believers who avoid shirk with Allah and who work in His obedience. He has also translated it as those who fear Allah's punishment and hope for His mercy. There is also a reference to it in Surah Baqarah verse 2. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. The translation of this verse is, this is the book whereof there is no doubt, a guidance to those who are al-muttaqeen. Here the meaning is the righteous people who fear Allah much and love Allah much. He then goes on to elaborate in verse 3, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. This is translated as, those who believe in the ghaib and perform as-salah and spend out of what we have provided for them. Al-ghaib refers to all things that Allah has told us about that we have not seen. For example, prophets, Jannat, Jahannam, angels, Qiyamah, etc. As-salah refers obviously to namaz, and the third part, those who spend out of what we have provided for them, refers to giving zakat and charity. So clearly we can see that although the literal translation of muttaqeen is the pious people, if we look more in depth at history and the Quran, we can unveil the much more descriptive meaning behind it. Coming up in 5 days is the wafat of Bibi Khadija. Bibi Khadija was a very rich businesswoman. She would send trade caravans to Syria for the representative to trade on her behalf. She was so rich that she was known as Malikatul Arab, Princess of the Arabs. Despite this, she was very humble and pure. Many people called her At-Tahira, the pure one. She was also given the title al-Aytam, the mother of orphans, because of her love for orphans. She started sending Prophet Muhammad as her representative for her trade caravans, and because he was so honest and blessed, her business started doing a lot better under his leadership. Because of her wealth and status, many men wanted to marry her, but she refused them all. However, when Abu Talib sent a proposal from Prophet Muhammad, she immediately accepted, as she knew that there was nobody better to marry. Bibi Khadija supported Prophet Muhammad all his life and used her money for the sake of Islam. She spent so much supporting Islam that by the time she passed away, she had lost all her wealth, so much so that she did not even have a kafan. Rasulullah said, "O Allah, Khadija has spent so much money for Islam and she does not have a kafan." Allah sent down the angel Jibreel with 5 kafans. Rasulullah asked, "O Jibreel, who are these kafans for?" Jibreel said, "The first kafan is for Lady Khadija." Rasulullah asked, "Who is the second kafan for?" Jibreel said, "That kafan is for you." Rasulullah asked, "Who is the third kafan for?" Jibreel said, "That kafan is for your cousin Ali Amirul Mu'mineen." Rasulullah asked, who is the fourth coffin for? Jibreel said, that coffin is for your daughter Fatima Sayyidatun Nisa'il Alameen. Rasulullah asked, who is the last and fifth coffin for? Jibreel said, that coffin is for your grandson Husayn Sayyidatun Shabab Ahlil Jannah. Rasulullah asked, O Jibreel, where is the coffin of Husayn? Jibreel said, Husayn will not have a coffin. His coffin will be the burning sands of Karbala. And indeed, on the 10th of Muharram, when all of the companions and family members of Husayn had been slain, Husayn was martyred, and his body, without a coffin or even clothes, was left on the burning sands of Karbala. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. إذن بقضائه وتسليما لأمره.